Nigeria working on confidence. And so Durant with the fadeaway elbow jumper. You cannot, you just hope he misses. You're not going to defend that. Competitive here on a Saturday night in Vegas.
In that USA training camp are anxious to see him.
Damian Lillard dropping in the three. So Draymond's in a tight one. Grant. And Draymond will push. Jeremy Grant avoided the turnover. Lillard had that three blocked, but stayed with the play to lay it up and in. He's played in Spain. This is his first Olympics. You mentioned his play last season in Israel. Draymond Green muscling that home.
Caleb played at the University of Ottawa back in 16.
And Jason Tatum pushes. Tatum will rise and drop in a three.
How good is that?
And that will do it for quarter number one. So for Team USA, working on four more guys.
Yeah, he had a big training camp, as you know, Bob, in Oakland. He brought almost 50 players to the training camp. But I love this level of athlete he's put together out here.
LaVine misses everything. We'll call it a pass, and Draymond Green able to flip it up and in.
And the Utah Jazz, former Ivy League Player of the Year.
So Tatum with an ISO. Ekpe didn't come, and they will flip it up and in and count the basket.
Arebu did everything he could to stem the tide of Tatum just bowling him over. Take a look right now. See, that's the FIBA basketball. In the NBA, I'm not sure you'd get away with that kind of physical play. But one thing USA has done over the course of the last 15 years, Bob.
One more time.
Exactly. They expected him to be the go-to scorer at the end of the Olympics. Let me tell you something. He's worked out for one other NBA team already. I will not divulge that, but it's great to see a kid that can come out of nowhere like this.
LaVine had the big Udo switched on him and took him right to the bucket.
I'll say this, Bob. I think LaVine, if you're a Pac-12 fan, you may remember Arebu from Washington State.
Jeremy Grant striping that three.
Jeremy coming off a 22-point-a-game season for the Detroit Pistons.
He was second in most improved voting in the NBA.
Gregg Popovich made a wise decision. First of all, he looks great. He's healthy. And I'll go back even further, Bob. 2010 in Istanbul, the coming out party for Steph Curry.
Nigeria's bringing in a lot of shooters because Benajay is certainly capable.
Well, they look the part. I'm impressed with them. Mike Brown's done a really good job.
Zach LaVine. Is it different 23-9 versus 21-1, or do the great shooters it does?
You've got multiple guys on this team that average 27 points a game in the NBA or more. And this kid, Zach LaVine, I say kid because he's one of the younger players still on this team.
He made 13 States midway through this second quarter. Remember, 10-minute quarters. A little different than the 48-minute NBA game. Lillard from deep.
Too easy.
Hey, you can cross the international date line. It will always be Dame.
Right now, this is really a chip shot for Dame. That's a rhythm three.
Have Devin Booker and Chris Middleton along with Drew Holiday as Durant puts that in. But until then, Zach LaVine 5-0. Tatum gets injured. They lose to France. Then they lose to Serbia. Guys wanted to defer maybe a little too much because they're just feeling each other out.
They're all superstars on their own teams, and this feeling out process will continue this week in Las Vegas.
I think for both coaches, they're going to appreciate that it's a high-level game because you get between Caleb Agata and Ike Nwamu, they've got some swing guys that really can score. Lillard, that's a warm-up three. And NBA guys, don't miss those.
Well, and a good delivery by Kevin Durant. He went Boston chemistry. And there you see the ball movement. 4 of the 5 offensive players for Team USA handled a lot of those. Dame Lillard.
So Lillard, the drop pass to Adebayo,
nice.
And then the roll to Beal.
Yep.
Little tic-tac-toe. Yep. Nicely done.
That's another one of them, the catch. Right there, hit him. And then watch the cut from the weak side. That's what we call a 45-degree cut. Because of the athleticism and the togetherness has been impressive.
And Okogie, that time Gabe Vincent nearly had that. Get it inside, and Bam Adebayo rings the register plus the foul.
Again, good ball movement right there. Passing up a good shot for a better shot for a great shot that's done by Bam at the rim. This is starting to get interesting. We've already been impressed with Nigeria, but I don't think anybody saw this coming.
You see the decision making for Draymond there, and the rotation of Levine, who cashes it in.
You remember at halftime, we had him mic'd up
Top.
Draymond said something to him about it.
Jeremy Grant flipping it up and in.
Yep.
There's the end-to-end play. The defense triggering the fast.
Team is way better than that team that you saw in London.
Well, the other thing, too, is Team USA has played at a high level. There have been a lot of good Team USA plays as Grant misses the corner three. And it's a beautiful play by Saddiq Bey. And dropping it into Levine to lay it up and in.
Well, that's what Saddiq Bey did at Villanova, and that's what he did.
They're not getting Israeli league games.
No,
internationally.
they do. They don't have synergy. Everybody has synergy.
Shot clock at 8. Draymond thought about playing a little bully ball. Now directing traffic is Garland floating it up and in. Tough finish.
Yes.
Darius Garland. Push ahead to Lillard. You have 6.5 left with the U.S. down a deuce. Tatum. Right now, you just get the sense Tatum.
Stay tuned, folks. This is historic.
Rand avoided the turnover. His three, an answer. KD, his first three of the night.
It's more like the Kevin Durant that we know.
So Caleb Agata will check in. Has been the leading scorer. The three-point shooting for Nigeria. Scintillating. Durant answers with a three.
There's 13 seconds to go. You can draw up a catch and shoot play in that half-court area where the Nigerian team is thinking, do we foul a guy who's in the act of shooting? So it's a very unique situation for both coaches right now, which is why Greg Popovich advanced the ball to the timeline.
So 13.2, and the mission is clear for the United States. They need a three, and in a catch-and-shoot variety, rather than turn your back and allow a foul to be applied.
You got to be ready to be in the motion to shoot it.
So Lillard, Durant, Tatum, Zach LaVine, so many great scorers and three-point shooters.
Now, the other thing is knowing that Nigeria knows that as well, you can get a quick two right here and play the foul game again and go down one instead of a quick desperation shot.
Also, too, as great a free thrower as Durant and Lillard are, if you pump faked and the guy landed on you, you could shoot 3 free throws.
That's true, too. We got a lot going on here, my friend.
There's a lot of drama in the final 13.2. Missed them both. The final heave from midcourt and beyond, and Nigeria has upset the United States in an exhibition game 90-87. And for that national team, that is the biggest win in the country's history, and to your point, maybe the continent of Africa for any nation.
Bob, 9 years ago in London, you saw it firsthand. What was it, 70-plus points?
It was 156-73 in the 2012 Olympics in London, the U.S. over Nigeria. Here we are 9 years later, and Mike Brown has led Nigeria to a victory over the United States.
This will be a constructive eye-opener for Team USA. There's no question. Give Nigeria credit for an amazing effort, but this could be for Team USA.
And they will look at the United States struggling a bit offensively, but really it's the brilliance of Nigeria's three-point shooting that must be credited.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times in sports we look at a loss as to how did that team stumble rather than give praise for the phenomenal performance of the victor.
Yeah, and I think the shooting was emblematic of the confidence this team played with from the very beginning of the game.
And it shows the longer an underdog hangs in the game, the more belief they develop. And that clearly was the case for Nigeria. in the game in the first quarter, in the game at halftime, take the lead at the end of the third, and withstand Durant threes and free throws and Lillard free throws to hold them off at the very end. And with a 40-minute game, if this game was 8 minutes longer, the United States may have gotten it. But in a 40-minute game, the end comes very quickly.
It's over. 40 minutes.